I came home from a funeral, still in my suit. She wasn't there. Her ring was on the counter. And a photo album was open. Not of us, but of her and my best friend, on trips I was never told about. When I called her, she just said, "I didn't want to grieve with you." So I sent her one final picture of what I left in his office drawer. I'm Dean. I'm 42. I live in Bloomington, Indiana. I used to have a wife, a best friend, and a little brother. I lost all three within a few weeks, each in their own way. But I only buried one of them. The story starts the day we buried my brother, Tyler. He was only 36. Died out of nowhere. Brain aneurysm. No signs, no warning. One minute, he was texting me a meme about some dumb movie we used to quote. Next thing I know, I'm in a hospital hallway, hearing a doctor say, "I'm sorry," like it means anything. Tyler was my only sibling. We grew up close. Fought like hell sometimes, but I loved him more than anyone. Losing him hit me in a way I still can't explain. Like someone pulled the floor out from under me, and I never hit bottom. I was just falling. Janelle, my wife, was at the funeral. She sat next to me in the church. Didn't say much. Didn't cry. Didn't even hold my hand. That bothered me, but I told myself she was grieving too. She and Tyler weren't close, but still. Death does weird things to people. After the funeral, everyone went home or to the little reception my sister-in-law put together. I didn't go. I told Janelle I was too drained and just wanted to go home. She said she'd stop by Panera and grab us something warm. We agreed to meet back at the house. When I got home, I didn't notice anything at first. Just silence. The kind that makes you feel like you forgot something important. Then I saw her wedding ring. It was just sitting there, on the kitchen counter, right next to a spoon with dried peanut butter on it. And next to that was a photo album. The kind we never really made. We were both lazy about organizing pictures. So it didn't make sense to see one laid open like that.
I walked over.
What I saw didn't make sense. It didn't even register at first. I thought maybe it was old photos.
Before me.
But it wasn't. It was her and Travis, my best friend since high school. They were smiling on a beach, holding drinks. I flipped the page. There they were again, this time wine tasting somewhere. Another page, and they're at a cabin in the woods. I stopped flipping. My hands were shaking too hard. I checked the dates on the back. I knew her handwriting. One photo said July 2019, best weekend ever. We were still married, still living together. That summer, I thought she had gone to visit her sister in Cincinnati for girls' weekend. I thought back to every work trip, every friend from college reunion, every time she said she needed a break and went out of town. It all fit now. She wasn't grieving Tyler. She was done. She just used the funeral as the cleanest way to disappear. I called her. I didn't know what else to do. She answered right away. No hello. No are you okay? She just said, "I didn't want to grieve with you." I swear to God, that's exactly what she said. And then she hung up. I didn't move for a long time after that. I was still in my suit, sitting on the edge of our couch. The same couch she and Travis probably sat on while I worked overtime shifts last winter. At some point, I stood up, and I knew exactly what I was going to do. See, Travis works in real estate. Big shot office in downtown Bloomington. He likes showing off. Always posts his office view on Instagram like he's some king of the Midwest. Last summer, I helped him renovate that office. Ripped up old carpet, helped him put in vinyl flooring. He gave me a spare key just in case the alarm guys showed up when he wasn't there. I never gave it back. So that night I used it. I drove down there after midnight. Parked in the alley, let myself in. The lights were off. The office smelled like dust and cologne. His desk was right where it always was. Same cheap wood finish, same drawer that stuck a little on the left side. I opened it. Still kept snacks in there. Gum, granola bars, a half-empty bottle of bourbon. I slipped something in. It was a photo I took from the album. One where they were both asleep in a hotel bed. Her head on his chest. His arm wrapped around her like he'd always had her. On the back, I wrote, "You can keep her. Just remember how easy she was to take." But I wasn't done. That was just the start. 2 weeks before the funeral, I had quietly met with a divorce lawyer. Janelle didn't know. I hadn't told anyone. Things between us had been off for a while. I didn't have proof, but I knew something was wrong. I had my suspicions. I just never imagined it was him. Now I had the proof. Photos, dates, timestamps, and her stupid handwriting. So I sent her a message. No words. Just a screenshot of the divorce filing. And below that, the address of Travis's office. That was the last thing I sent her. I ignored every call, every text. I blocked her on everything. She came to the house 2 days later, pounding on the door, crying, yelling. I sat in the dark and watched her through the peephole. She was soaked from the rain, screaming my name. I didn't move. She stayed for 30 minutes. Then she left. And then I got to work. I knew Travis's broker. His boss was his older sister's husband.
Nice guy.
Ran a tight ship. Real old-school morals type. So, I sent him something. Anonymously. A scanned copy of every photo. Dates, locations. Hotel receipts I found in Janelle's emails. Even a voice memo Janelle had recorded once and left on our shared iCloud by accident. Her voice whispering, "I love you more than him." I never got a reply. But 3 days later, Travis's face vanished from the company website. 1 week after that, I heard from a mutual friend that he'd moved out of town. Quietly. No goodbye party, no send-off.
Just gone. Janelle?
Still around, but not in the same apartment. I let that place go. Lease was in my name. She was struggling to make rent, so I just stopped paying it. Let the eviction happen. Last I heard, she was back in Terre Haute, living with her mom. No job, no car, and no Travis. I thought that would be it. I thought I could just walk away, finally breathe, and move on. But people don't let go that easy when their lives fall apart. Especially when they know it's their fault but don't want to admit it. 3 weeks after I sent that last message, I got a letter in the mail. No return address. Just a plain white envelope with my name on it, written in handwriting I hadn't seen since high school. It was from Travis. Inside was one piece of paper, typed. A letter. "Dean, you think you know everything, but you don't. She came to me. I never chased her. I was your best friend, and I hated watching how you treated her. You ignored her. You were always working. You were cold. She cried about you more times than I can count. She needed someone. You left that door wide open. But it was never meant to last. She thought I'd save her, but I never promised that. That's on her. If you're going to ruin my life, at least know the whole truth." I sat there reading it over and over, my fists clenched so tight my nails cut into my palm. I didn't ruin his life. He chose to crawl into bed with my wife. And now he was trying to make me feel guilty? But still his words stuck in my head. So, I did something I hadn't planned on. I checked the phone bill. Janelle and I had a shared phone account. I hadn't closed it yet. I don't know why, I just hadn't gotten around to it. And when I checked the records, I saw something that made my stomach turn. The night before Tyler died, she was on the phone with Travis. For over an hour. Midnight to almost 1:30 a.m. I started thinking back. Tyler had been upset the night before. He'd called me, said he needed to talk, but I was finishing up some late paperwork at home. I told him I'd come by in the morning. But that morning never came. He was already gone by then. I'll never know what he wanted to say. But something about the timing didn't sit right. I checked her text logs. I had to dig through some old cloud backups, but I found messages between her and Travis. One stuck out. Sent by Janelle, 2 days before Tyler died. "He's too busy with work and his brother. I feel invisible. It's like I don't exist." Then one from Travis. "Maybe it's better if you just start fresh. Walk away from it all." Maybe I'm reading into it too much. Maybe not. But it felt like they'd been waiting for a moment to tear everything down. And when Tyler died, it gave them cover. And now Travis was gone, but Janelle wasn't. She kept finding ways to get to me. Emails, voicemails, even letters left at my work truck windshield. I'd change my number. She'd find the new one through mutual friends. I'd block her email. She'd create new ones. One of her voicemails shook me. I never meant to hurt you. You were just never really with me. You were always with Tyler or buried in your job. I was so alone. He listened.
He cared.
I didn't want to leave like that, but I didn't know how else to make you see me.
It was always about her.
Then came the final twist I never expected. I got a message on Facebook from a woman named Cora. I didn't know her, but she knew a lot about me. She said she was Travis's ex-girlfriend. The one before Janelle. She told me Travis had a pattern. She said he used to get close to people's partners. Subtle at first. Friendly. Listening. Being the shoulder to cry on. Then he'd cross a line. Then he'd ghost them after everything blew up. She told me I wasn't the first husband he had betrayed. She also told me something else. He used to record things, she wrote. Audio. Sometimes video. He said it was for protection. But I think he just liked having control. If you can find his old tablet, it might still be on there. That hit me like a hammer. I remembered the tablet. He used to keep it in the bottom drawer at the office, the one with the snacks. It had a cracked screen, and he mostly used it to play music when we worked together. I hadn't checked it when I went in there that night, but I still had the key.
So I went back.
This time, I wasn't just looking to leave something behind. I was looking for answers. And what I found on that tablet, it changed everything. The office was dark again, same as before. Only this time, I didn't feel angry. I felt cold, focused. Like I was stepping into a crime scene, only the blood had already dried, and the cops never showed up. I unlocked the door, walked straight to his desk, and opened the drawer. There it was. Same spot. Same cracked screen. The cheap black tablet, still wrapped in a dusty pair of headphones. I took it and left. Back at my house, I charged it for a few hours before it finally powered on. The screen flickered, but it worked. No password. Travis never thought he needed one. The home screen had 2 folders. One was labeled Work. The other just said Private. I clicked Private. Inside were dozens of audio files. Some were labeled with dates. Others just had names. One caught my eye right away. Janelle, hotel room, August. I pressed play. Her voice filled the room. She was laughing. Then silence. Then Travis speaking low and smug. You think he suspects anything?
Janelle. Dean?
He barely notices when I leave the house. He's obsessed with work. Or his brother. Travis. Stilled, it's risky. Janelle. You think I care? Honestly, sometimes I wish Dean would find out. Maybe then he'd finally feel something. There was more. A lot more. Another file. Janelle, after Tyler. Made my stomach drop. Janelle. I feel nothing. Like, am I supposed to cry? I don't even care that Tyler's gone. Travis. You're cold. Janelle. No. I'm real. Everyone acts like he was some angel. He was annoying. Always hanging around Dean. I hated it. Travis. Then why are you crying now? Janelle. Because I feel stuck. Because this was supposed to be my clean slate. And now you're acting like you don't even want me anymore. I paused it. I don't even remember sitting down, but I was on the floor, holding the tablet like it might bite me. My throat burned. I couldn't breathe. It wasn't just betrayal. It was hatred. She had hated my brother. He never did anything but treat her like family. I played more files. Conversations from different days. More of the same. Her mocking me. Him doubting her. They weren't in love. They were just using each other. Then I found a video. Just one. Labeled insurance. It was a hidden camera angle, pointed at a hotel bed. It showed Janelle pacing while on the phone. I turned up the volume.
Janelle, yeah, no.
He still thinks I'm at a conference. God, I could kill him sometimes. He's so stupid. I'm just waiting until after the funeral. Then I'll disappear. A pause. Then she said, No, I'm not telling him about the life insurance yet. He doesn't even remember he's the secondary. I froze. What life insurance? I opened my file cabinet and pulled out the papers from the funeral home. Then Tyler's insurance documents. I'd helped him sign up for a policy years ago when he got his first serious job. It was a basic thing, just enough for burial expenses.
Then I saw it.
A second policy. Not through work. One taken out a year before he died. Beneficiaries, primary. Marlene Woods, our mom, deceased, secondary. Janelle Pierce, I blinked.
Secondary.
Not me. My own wife. Why the hell would she be the backup beneficiary on my brother's life insurance? And why didn't I know? I pulled out my phone and called Tyler's old insurance rep, asked him straight up. Said I was cleaning up estate documents and needed clarity.
He remembered me.
He told me Janelle had helped Tyler sign up for that second policy as a favor since he was overwhelmed with work at the time. Said she handled the paperwork, got his signature, and mailed it in. I asked him if I was listed anywhere. He said no. Then he paused. I do remember it was strange. She insisted on mailing the papers herself. Most people let us handle that part. I didn't say anything. I couldn't. I ended the call and just sat there in the dark, with the tablet in my lap, my hands shaking again. This wasn't just cheating. This wasn't just betrayal. It felt planned, calculated, like she had been making moves in the background for longer than I ever knew, involving my brother, changing his documents, telling lies about me to Travis, setting up her exit before she even hit the door. I copied everything from the tablet onto a hard drive. Then I called Cora, the ex-girlfriend who had warned me. Asked her if Travis had ever mentioned life insurance, or anything like it. She went quiet. Then she said, he used to brag that he'd never need to work again if he played his cards right. Said women trusted him too easily. That's why I left. He scared me. I thanked her. And then I sat there with everything I had, photos, files, insurance documents, recorded calls, videos. And I knew one thing for sure. She wasn't going to get away with it. Not this time. Not quietly. Not without the whole damn town knowing who she really was. I didn't sleep that night. I just kept hearing her voice from that video. I could kill him sometimes just waiting until after the funeral, not telling him about the life insurance yet. It didn't matter if she meant it literally or not. It was enough. Enough to know who she really was. What she was capable of. And now I had proof. Not just of the affair, but of everything else. The manipulation. The money. The planning. She thought she was smarter than me. She thought she'd just vanish and leave me in the ashes. But I don't burn that easy. First, I called my lawyer. I gave him everything, copies of the recordings, insurance forms, and the hard drive from Travis's tablet. He nearly dropped the phone when he heard what I had. I told him I wanted to reopen the divorce case. Reopen it? Dean, we haven't even finished the first phase. Then let's make it the last phase, I said. I want her out of my life. And I want her exposed. He said he'd file for spousal fraud and push to have her cut off from any claim to my assets. I agreed. I didn't care about the house or the money anymore. I just wanted to bury her reputation the same way she tried to bury my brother. Next, I reached out to the insurance company. I spoke to a fraud investigator, explained the timeline, shared the evidence. He took it seriously, more seriously than I expected. Apparently, changing beneficiaries and mailing the forms yourself isn't illegal by itself, but when paired with manipulation or coercion, it's a different story. They opened a formal case. That was step 2. Step 3 was personal. I started printing things. Photos. Transcripts. Screenshots of messages. Excerpts from the audio files. I put them all together in a neat, black binder. On the front, in big bold letters, truth about Janelle and Travis. What they did to Dean and Tyler. I printed 12 copies. I mailed them out to every person she still had in her life. Her cousins, old friends, even her pastor in Terre Haute. I mailed one to her boss at the temp job she was trying to hold on to. I sent one to Travis's sister, the one whose husband fired him. And I dropped one off in person to her mother's mailbox. The next morning, I woke up to 5 voicemails. One from her cousin yelling at me, one from her old friend crying, saying she had no idea, and the rest from Janelle, begging, screaming, threatening, crying again, all in a loop. She didn't know how fast the world could turn on her. But I did. 1 week later, I got a call from the fraud investigator. He said something interesting. "We found the original signature from Tyler," he told me. "And we compared it to the one on the second insurance policy. The one listing Janelle as secondary. What about it? They don't match. We're launching a forgery investigation. And because she stood to gain financially from his death, we're turning it over to the state." I didn't say a word. I just closed my eyes and let out the air I'd been holding for days. They questioned her 2 days later. I know, because she called me from an unknown number afterward. I picked up out of curiosity. "You told them I forged it?" she hissed. "You're sick, Dean. You want me in jail now." "No," I said. "I want my brother to rest in peace."
And you're not going to stop that.
"Not anymore."
Click.
I never heard her voice again. The legal case dragged out for months. But the fallout was immediate. She lost her job. Her landlord wouldn't renew her lease. People stopped talking to her. Even her mother stopped defending her after reading that binder. I didn't push the forgery case further. I didn't need to. The insurance company denied her claim.
Permanently.
Labeled it suspicious and voided the payout. She had built her escape plan around that money. And now it was gone. She tried suing me for defamation. She lost. And Travis? Last I heard, he was working at a low-end brokerage in Fort Wayne, living in a studio apartment, driving Uber on the side. His license was almost suspended after a complaint from a client, one who recognized him from the binder I mailed. Karma didn't just visit him. It unpacked and stayed. And me? I moved. I sold the house. Gave away most of the furniture. Started over in a smaller town north of Indy. I didn't want revenge to define the rest of my life. But I needed to finish it. I visit Tyler's grave once a month. Still in that same black funeral suit. Still with my hands in my pockets, standing in silence. But now I talk to him. I tell him how it ended. How I stood up. How I made sure the people who used him, who used us, faced the storm they brought on themselves. And I tell him the truth. That I wasn't just grieving him. I was grieving the version of myself that trusted too easily. That gave people the benefit of the doubt. That believed love meant safety. That version of me is gone. And maybe that's okay. Because what came after
Was justice.
real, brutal, honest justice. The kind that doesn't always make you feel better, but make sure they never do it again.